The gap was never the money. It was the experience the money buys you out of. Level 1, $27,000. 27,000, you're broke and so is everyone you love and it's the closest you'll ever be. You and Jamal split a $5 pizza and call it a feast. You pool gas money to get to a free concert. Nobody has anything, so nobody pretends, and the not pretending is the whole friendship. You sleep easy in this, even when the money's tight, because the people around you are tight in exactly the same places. You compare struggles, not stuff. You laugh about the overdraft together because you've all met the overdraft. There's no gap to fall into. You're all standing on the same floor. Jamal makes the same as you, spends it the same way, broken the same rhythm. When his check clears, he covers you. When yours clears, you cover him. It's not generosity. It's a tide that goes both ways. The money's barely there, and somehow the friendship has never been richer. Your friendships at 27,000 cost nothing and contain everything. You've got no money and no distance, and the no distance, though you can't see it yet, is the part you'll spend the rest of your life trying to get back. The first rule: at 27,000, you have no money and no distance, and the no distance is the wealth. Level 2, $46,000. 46,000, you start to pull ahead just a little, and the pulling ahead is the first quiet crack. Nothing breaks, but you can suggest a restaurant now that Jamal does the math on before he answers. A small hesitation enters the friendship where there used to be none. Yet you sleep fine, but you notice it. The pause before he says yes, the way he orders the cheapest thing and says he's not that hungry. You've started living an experience he can't quite afford, and the experience, not the money, is where the first inch of distance opens. Jamal is still your closest friend, still broke, still real, but you can feel yourself learning to round down around him, to suggest the cheap thing first, to protect him from a gap neither of you will name. It's kindness. It's also the beginning of the end of standing on the same floor. Your friendships start to cost something now, not money, attention, the work of staying close to someone the current is slowly pulling you away from. The second rule: 46,000 is the first hesitation, the first time he does the math before he says yes. Level 3, $70,000. 70,000, the drift is real now. Not a fight, not a falling out, just a slow widening the way two boats drift when only one of them has a motor. You travel, they don't. You upgrade, they wait. The lives stop overlapping in the small daily ways that friendship is actually made of. You sleep okay, but there's a guilt in it. You catch yourself not mentioning the trip, not posting the dinner, curating your life down so the gap doesn't show. You've started managing the friendship instead of just having it. Then comes the moment. Marcus, an old friend, calls and asks to borrow money, not a lot. But the asking changes something that doesn't change back. Now there's a creditor and a debtor where there used to be two equals. You give it gladly and it costs you the equality anyway. Money entered the room and money never leaves quietly. Your friendships cost more every rung. The drift takes maintenance now, phone calls against the current, effort to stay close to people the experiences are pulling you away from. The third rule: 70,000 is when someone asks to borrow and the asking turns two equals into a balance sheet. Level 4, $110,000. 110,000. Now the money does something uglier than drift. It makes people weird. You get a raise, a real one, and you make the mistake of mentioning it, and you watch a friend's face do something complicated, something that isn't happiness and isn't quite resentment, but lives in the suburb between them. You sleep on it, that look. Devin, who you've known 15 years, got strange about the promotion. Cooler, a joke with an edge in it. Nothing you can point to. Everything you can feel. The raise didn't change you. It changed how he sees you. And that's the part you can't fix. You learn to stop sharing the wins. You learn that good news at this level is a thing you protect people from, because the gap has gotten wide enough that your good day is a reminder of their stuck one. The friendship survives. The honesty doesn't, not fully. Your friendships cost the truth now. You edit yourself to keep them. You shrink the good news so the distance doesn't show and the shrinking is its own small grief. The fourth rule: 110,000 is when your good news becomes something you have to hide to keep your friends. Level 5, $200,000. 200,000. The distance has become a language gap. You're dealing with things, taxes, investments, decisions that your oldest friends have no frame for, and they're dealing with things you've started to forget the weight of. You talk, and the words are the same, but the worlds underneath them have drifted apart. You sleep fine. It's the conversations that have gotten lonely. You can't talk about your actual problems with old friends, they'd sound like bragging, and you can't talk about theirs. You've lost the muscle. So you talk about the past because the past is the only country you still share. There's a silence now in conversations you don't get invited to. Trips planned without you because they assume you're busy or out of their league or both. The assumption does the excluding. You didn't leave, but the gap did the leaving for you, and nobody had to say a word. Your friendships cost translation now. Every honest sentence has to be converted into something that won't open the gap, and some sentences just can't survive the conversion, so they go unsaid. The fifth rule: 200,000 is when you and your oldest friends still speak the same words about different worlds. Level 6, $450,000. 450,000. The circle is small now and curated and quiet. A handful of people, most of them at a similar altitude, who understand the particular shape of your life without translation. It's comfortable. It's also a little sad because comfort, you've learned, is sometimes just the absence of the friction that intimacy is made of. You sleep well. The friendships up here are easy, low stakes, frictionless. Nobody asks to borrow. Nobody gets weird about a raise. Nobody does the math before they say yes. And you trade a piece of it some nights for one cheap pizza split 4 ways with people who had nothing and pretended nothing. You think about Jamal. You haven't talked in years, not from any falling out, just the slow physics of drift. He's somewhere living a life you can barely picture now, and you're here in a small, clean circle, missing a closeness you can't buy back at any price. The gap won, it usually does. Your friendships up here cost the most of all. They're peaceful and they're easy, and they're missing the one thing the bottom had for free: the friction, the realness, the standing, broke and honest, on exactly the same floor. The sixth rule: 450,000 is when the circle gets small and clean and you miss the mess that made it real. Level 7, $900,000. 900,000. The money is loud enough now that it walks into the room before you do, and people hear it. New faces appear, warm and easy and a little too interested, and for the first time you cannot tell who came for you and who came for the thing standing behind you. The doubt is new. The doubt never fully leaves again. You sleep fine. It's the warmth you started to audit. Someone laughs at your joke a half second too fast. Someone remembers your coffee order on the second meeting. It's all lovely, and some of it is real, and you've lost the ability to tell which, and the not knowing is a tax on every kind thing anyone does for you now. A guy named Brett folds you into his circle. Generous, fun, always around, you like him. You also notice he only ever suggests the things you'd be the one to pay for. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's everything. At 27,000, you never once had to wonder why someone liked you. There was nothing to like you for but you. Your friendships cause suspicion now. A small, awful arithmetic running under every new hello, asking what this person sees when they look at you and whether it's you at all. The bottom had no money and total trust. Up here, the ratio has flipped. The seventh rule: 900,000 is when you can no longer tell who came for you and who came for it. Level 8, $2 million. 2 million. Now you do the thing you swore you never would. You start paying for the closeness. You pick up every check, fly the whole crew out, rent the house for the weekend because it's easier than watching them do the math, and because some quiet part of you is afraid that if you stopped, the gatherings would stop too. You buy the togetherness that used to be free. You sleep well in beautiful rooms, surrounded by people you flew in. It should feel full. It feels staged. Not a lie exactly, just a thing you're funding. And a thing you fund is a thing you can never be sure of because you'll never know what it would do if the funding stopped. You think about the tide at 27,000, how Jamal covered you when his check cleared and you covered him when yours did, a current that ran both ways and cost nobody anything. Now the current runs one direction, out from you, and everyone downstream calls it generosity. And maybe it is, and maybe it's just the price of not eating alone. Your friendships cost actual money now for the first time since the bottom. Except at the bottom, the money was shared, and up here, the money is the glue. Take it away, and you're not sure what's left holding any of it together. The eighth rule: 2 million is when you start paying for the closeness you used to get for free. Level 9, $5 million. 5 million. The circle is managed now. People don't wander into your life anymore. They're introduced, vetted, arriving with a reference and a reason. There are rooms you enter where everyone has quietly been checked, and a friendship that has to clear a background isn't a friendship. It's a hire that smiles. You cannot make a friend by accident at 5 million. And every friend you ever made for real, you made by accident. You sleep behind a gate in a house with a name, and the quiet is total. And the quiet is the problem. Nobody drops by. Nobody can. The spontaneity that every real friendship of your life was born from, the bored Tuesday, the cheap pizza, the nothing to do, has been scheduled out of existence by the very structure that's supposed to protect you. Someone's assistant emails your assistant to set up a dinner between two people who used to just knock on each other's doors. You read a calendar invite for a friendship and feel something cold. This is what it looks like up here. Connection routed through staff, booked 3 weeks out, billed against a Tuesday that no longer just happens. Your friendships cost their own spontaneity now. The thing that made them possible in the first place has been engineered away, and you can buy almost anything from this height except the unplanned afternoon where a real one used to start. The ninth rule: 5 million is when you can't make a friend by accident anymore. Level 10, $12 million. 12 million. You are known by more people than you could ever meet, and known by almost no one. Rooms go quiet when you enter and louder when you speak, and not one of those faces met you before the number did. The people who knew you when you were nobody are a list of contacts you no longer call because too much water has gone under and you wouldn't know how to start, and you're not sure they'd believe you miss them. You sleep at the top of everything, and you have never been further from the floor. You could fly any person on earth to dinner tonight. You could fill a table, a house, a yacht, and there is no longer a single human being who would come for you instead of the thing behind you. The worst part is you can't even blame them because you stop being able to tell the difference yourself a long way down the ladder. You think about the $5 pizza, 2 broke kids, 1 pizza, no distance at all. You have spent 30 years in everything you built climbing away from that table, and you would give a frightening amount, more than you'd ever admit out loud, to be back at it for one ordinary night, broke and honest and standing on the same floor as someone who had nothing to gain. Your friendships up here cost everything they were ever made of. You have the means to summon anyone, and the position to trust no one, and the distance the money bought. The distance that started as one small hesitation before a yes is now the whole landscape, as far as you can see, in every direction. The 10th rule: 12 million is when you can summon anyone and belong to no one. Somewhere right now, 2 broke friends are splitting a cheap meal, 1 pizza maybe, or a value menu divided down to the dollar, eaten in a parked car, or on a curb, or at a wobbly table under bad light. Neither of them has anything. Neither of them is pretending to. They're laughing about the overdraft, about the boss, about a future neither can afford, and they have no idea that this right here is the richest they will ever feel together. Because the gap that's coming was never about the money, it's about the experiences the money buys you out of. One of them will pull ahead, and then there will be a hesitation before yes, and then a borrowed 20 that never quite gets even, and then a raise that makes a face go strange, and then a trip planned without an invitation until one day they're speaking the same words about different worlds and then not speaking at all. It won't be a falling out. It almost never is. It'll be a drift, slow and quiet and nobody's fault, the simple physics of two boats when only one has a motor, and the one who pulls ahead will spend the rest of his life in smaller, cleaner, easier rooms, missing the wobbly table and the split pizza and the friend who had nothing back when having nothing meant having no distance at all.